Welcome back. We are live from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, just one day before the big Fox Business debate. Herman Cain, once a top Republican contender known for his provocative 999 tax plan. Who could forget that, right? He knows what it's like being on a stage like you're seeing there in the picture on that screen. And he joins me now with some advice for these candidates. Herman, great to see you. Good to have you on the program.
Thanks, Trish. My pleasure.
Your 999 plan is still being talked about. In fact, Trump welcomed you to a rally last month down in Georgia, and he praised that plan. Quickly, I want the viewers to hear this. Take a listen.
Mr. 999, where is he? Come here, Herman. 999. When he said 999, I said, what the hell is that? But he had a good thing, right?
You know, what voters liked about that was the simplicity of it.
Yes.
When you look at some of those tax plans, including Mr. Trump's, that are now out there, and we're all hashing through them, what advice do you have to them in terms of trying to make it accessible to the American public?
They've got to talk about how they're going to solve problems in addition to what the problems are. Secondly, they need to be as specific as they can, because specifics are those things that connect to the American people. That's why 999 connected. A lot of people may not have understood all of the mathematical underpinnings or the economic underpinnings of 999, but when they heard it and they knew that one component went after was a tax on corporate profits, one component was on personal income, and one component was a national sales tax, they get that. They don't want, nor do they care about all of the minute details. They felt that 999 was going to be better for them and their family. They got that, and that's why it resonated with so many people.
No, it sure did. But, you know, as these candidates take to the stage tomorrow night, there are a lot of very substantive issues on the table, a lot of serious questions about how we generate growth, about how we create a tax policy environment that favors growth, about what do we do with international trade, immigration, all of these very much economic issues. They're complicated. You know, and these candidates have a responsibility to deliver a message and some details to Americans. Can they do it? Who do you think is best positioned to make sure that they have a substantive message, but also a simple enough one, Herman?
And you hit on the key, Trish. It's got to be simple enough to understand, even though these are complicated issues. I happen to believe that the people that are most positioned, based upon having heard them before, to be able to make that connection would be Carly Fiorina, because she has a business background. She understands economics. She understands economics on a world stage. And also Ted Cruz is very well positioned, because he put his flat tax plan out there, and it's very easy to explain to the American people all of those taxes that are going to go away with a simple flat tax. Ben Carson, on the other hand,
he's got a VAT tax in there. I'm going to stop you on that, Mr. Cain, because he is talking about adding a tax to businesses in terms of all of the goods that they sell, and it's actually a little bit complicated. So I think that he's going to have to really simplify that message as he walks that one forward. But you're right. I mean, the flat tax idea, at least when it comes to income tax, is something that people can process. Let me ask you about another thing. I got a chart here that shows how you were just rip-roaring in the polls back in November. You were hitting all kinds of highs. You were at levels that are close to where Donald Trump and Ben Carson are now. And then, you know, things started to go a little south. I mean, it shows you how fickle, in some ways, the American voter can be, and how, you know, in your case, you had some news that derailed your candidacy a little bit. But, you know, as you look at Trump and Carson right now on top, what's your advice to them in order to help them stay on top?
My advice is real simple. Stay focused on their message and try and not get caught up in the media frenzy. That's what happened to me. I had to make a choice, Trish, when we were talking 4 years ago, and this is a little bit different than it is today. I could have launched 3 lawsuits against those 3 sets of accusations, and that would have been very costly and would have been a big distraction. But more importantly, The media frenzy would not stop because they weren't interested in the truth. What Ben Carson has done is exactly what I think he should have done. He has put the truth out there, and now the lie that was told by Politico that started all of this, they've had to walk it back. But they're still going to rerun those old insinuations to try to bring him down. One of your earlier guests, and it might have been you, who said that Ben Carson's greatest attribute is his integrity. So that's why they're attacking his integrity, trying to prove him a lie, and so far it has backfired. Ben Carson did not lie. Politico, they fabricated a lie.
Do you think that this is a case, though, of just sort of forgetting? I mean, it's been a lot of years. Let me share with you quickly, Mr. Cain, what he told our Maria Bartiromo this morning, where he suggested that, it wasn't necessarily the general that gave him that offer of acceptance at West Point.
I don't remember if I was with him when the offer came. The offer was not, as I recall from him, but there were multiple other officers around. There were several things that I was invited to because of my status as the city executive officer, and General Westmoreland was at one of them.
Does that satisfy you, Herman? He seems to be walking back what he originally said, which was that the general extended the offer.
No, he's not walking it back, Trish. And so here's why I want to set the record straight. Nearly 50 years ago, he was talking about an opportunity. If in his book, which is where all of this started, he used the word opportunity instead of the word scholarship, Politico they would not have been able to fabricate their lie. But since he was trying to recall it, and in the sense of going to West Point, once the story started to unfold, anybody that gets into West Point, they get a scholarship. It's a full taxpayer-paid ride. So it was semantics that they tried to attack him on. I went through several things that are factual about this whole situation in a piece that I posted on my Facebook page called In Defense of Ben, because he did not lie. Yes, he could have been clearer, as he admitted, on explaining it in his book. But the only thing that Ben Carson did that was jumped on to try to create the media frenzy on the part of Politico, instead of using the word opportunity, he used the word scholarship, which is a typical academic narrative. That's what they're trying to pin on him. I'm satisfied that he did not fabricate a story.
Thank you so much. It's good to see you. Herman Cain.
Good to be here, Trish.
All right, everyone.
Thank you.